Bidenomics is working. When I took office, the pandemic was raging and our economy was reeling. Supply chains are broken, millions of people unemployed, hundreds of thousands of small businesses on the verge of closing after so many had already closed. Literally hundreds of thousands on the verge of closing. Today, the U.S. has the highest economic growth rate, leading the world economies since the pandemic, the highest in the world.
That was President Biden today in Chicago touting his economic agenda, which he is now calling Bidenomics. And to be fair, the president does have quite a few economic achievements to brag about. The unemployment rate is 3.7%, near the lowest it's been since 1969, with the jobs numbers in recent months outperforming expectations. We've also seen the inflation rate cool significantly from the highs we saw this time last year, from over 9% to now 4%, which is much lower than what most other countries are currently experiencing. And that's not an accident. It is the direct result of some of the policies Democrats have passed and President Biden has signed into law, like the Inflation Reduction Act, the CHIPS and Science Act, and the infrastructure bill, which some Republicans are now actually trying to take credit for, despite the fact that they literally voted against it. Or, as the great Nancy Pelosi put it, they voted no and are taking the dough. Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville, for example, put out a tweet boasting about how much money his state is receiving for broadband access, money that's straight out of the legislation that he opposed and voted against, and calling it vital for the success of our rural communities and for our entire economy. To which the president, in full Dark Brandon mode, replied simply, "See you at the groundbreaking." Joining me now is Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Governor Gretchen Whitmer, and I have friends that live in your state, so I'm always tempted to say Big Gretch, because I know that's what the peoples call you. Let's talk about this, because, Biden is out there bragging about the economy, and he ain't wrong. I was just talking with my producer before we came on about this graph. I'm going to let you put your earpiece back in. It is pretty wild when you look at this graph. This is wild. I didn't even realize that Biden's job creation was this dope. I mean, his job creation outflanks like 3 other presidents added up together. That's his monthly job growth per job growth. It's something. What do you make of the disconnect between that very clear data and people's perception that Biden hasn't got this great economy?
Well, first, I'm thrilled to be here with you. And, I think that the president's plans are working. We are seeing, as you pointed out, low unemployment, high job growth, low inflation. I mean, it's really amazing what is going on in our economy right now. And people have this tendency to move on to the next thing. And, of course, we've got big challenges, but the president's plan is working. Here in Michigan, we're going to be getting $2.4 billion for broadband, and it will apply to rural communities as well as urban communities. 99% of the households and businesses in Michigan will get connected because of what President Biden has done. So Bidenomics is working. And I think people are going to see it when they're driving. They're seeing the orange barrels. They're seeing the work being done. And they know that it's when Democrats lead and when President Biden is leading, our lives are getting better. Our standing in the world is getting better. And I think that's something all Americans benefit from.
So, I look at the polls and I see that about a third of people say the economy is good, right? It is just arguably not true, right? The economy is good. Like, it's just sort of factually good. Do you think, because you're in an executive role, so I guess you can sort of relate to this, right? So when you guys have passed a bunch of bills. We've got a list of them here. You repealed this abortion ban, this 1931 abortion ban, reaffirmed civil rights protections for LGBTQ people, implemented a red flag gun law, cut taxes, expanded affordable housing. When that stuff passes, it takes a while for the economic things to actually get started, right? The abortion ban, that's right away. But do you think it's because the shovels didn't go right in the ground the minute it passed, and that it's sort of a lagging indicator? And as you said, now that they see the trucks moving, maybe people will change their view?
Yeah, I think so. You know, in the last election, my opponent talked about how we hadn't done enough to fix the roads. But it flew in the face of the evidence that people saw every single day, the orange barrels all across the state of Michigan. I think we're going to see the exact same thing when it comes to Bidenomics, that people are going to understand that all those job openings that were unfilled, or all those jobs that people were looking for, are now job openings because unemployment is at an all-time low. I was just in Europe traveling for economic development purposes. Inflation is 9% over there. It has dropped dramatically here. And it's not a coincidence. This president knows how to get things done. This president is staying focused on what matters. He doesn't play divisive politics. He doesn't call people names. He doesn't fire off irresponsible tweets. He does the work, and the work is paying off, and people are going to start, they're feeling it already, but they're really going to start to see it's undeniable that this country is in a stronger position, and our lives are better off because of the work that the president's done.
Do you think that some of the disconnect, too, is also kind of the sort of negative things that are happening that have nothing to do with the president, right? I mean, the abortion issue, I think, is really weighing on a lot of women, and I think weighing on mood, because there is this sort of sense of panic. And I know that statistically, Michigan is now starting to see more people flooding in because it's a free state, and the states that are, now, sort of womb slave states, or whatever you want to call them, in the South and in the West, where people can't get abortions, people have to leave and find their way to places like Michigan to exercise bodily autonomy. Do you think that the stress that people feel over that, or things like rent, it sort of eclipses people's sort of objective knowledge of what's happening in the economy? Could that be one of the things that's sort of creating people's sort of negative vibe?
Well, at the end of the day, Joy, you know, and we all know, all politics is local. What is happening in your life is going to inform whether or not you think things are going well and you're able to put food on the table and take care of your family and live a high quality of life. Make your own decisions about your body. Have fundamental rights in your workplace and in your home. We see culture wars playing out, and we got a president who's staying focused on the fundamentals. But we need to not, rest. Even though we've secured a lot of these rights here in Michigan, it is all very precarious, because what happens at the federal level is ultimately going to impact whether or not we can make our own decisions about our bodies. And we have fundamental rights and are respected and protected under the law. Whether our kids can go to school without being fearful that there aren't background checks happening when people are buying guns. These are the freedoms that this president is working so hard to secure for all Americans. But right now it's a patchwork, and that's why this upcoming election is so important, because I don't want to see my state revert back. I want to see other Americans step forward and have the same kind of freedoms we've secured here in Michigan.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the idea of a national abortion ban will sober the minds of a lot of people. And let's just be real clear. The economy, you can't really deny it. Bidenomics, he can brag about it because the economy is objectively in good shape. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, thank you very much. I really appreciate you coming on.